Everyone, I'm Hindi and I started this wonderful group. I recorded this message earlier, but for some reason it didn't work. It only showed about 2 minutes of it. Anyway, I'm going to talk about a topic that none of us want to talk about, hear about, think about, but it's really important. So try not to shut this off unless it's really not relevant. It's about preparing to say goodbye. Now, it's really important because many years ago, when I had no idea what I was doing, I had my first pet. She was my heart cat named Calypso. I literally had no idea. And she was feral. I had found her in a garbage bag, so she was very difficult to take to the vet. Of course, I did, but there were also times when I would just go and meet with my vet alone during an appointment. And, she didn't always have to be there, and I found that very helpful. But I knew she had kidney issues. So one day it was my birthday, and she literally was not eating. So I called the vet, and he told me to take her right down. And after blood tests, we discovered that her kidneys really had failed, and there was nothing else I could do. And I was there alone. My husband was at work, and I was hysterical, obviously. And I had a lovely vet. He was so nice. But when I got this paper that said euthanasia in big black letters, I lost it because it was like a gut punch, as they call it. And I had no idea what euthanasia was about. I didn't know what the process was. I didn't know about, like, do you cremate them? Do you bury them? I had never given anything a thought, so I had no idea. So I was in a state of shock, and, he said, sign here. I signed, and then the only thing I knew was that I wanted her back because I loved her so much. I didn't know what that meant even. And he said, okay, so then he showed me a catalog of urns. I'm like, it was really too much for me. And I also didn't know about the euthanasia process, and then their heads like fall over if you hold them and their eyes are open. Like I didn't know anything, and I don't want that to happen to you. So I think it's important. I mean, don't dwell on it, but just give it a moment's thought even. Do you want them to be buried in a cemetery? Do you want them back? Do you not want them back? Um, take take lots of pictures, videos. I have like two pictures of Calypso, and I have none with me. Because when you say goodbye, you can't take any more pictures. So take lots of pictures, take lots of videos, do things that you think would be fun to do. Don't dwell on it. I mean, yes, it's heartbreaking. Nobody wants to go through it. It's such a tough thing. And I'm not saying that knowing all this will make it easy in any way, but thinking about it, how do you want to honor them? You won't go into your vet's office in such a state of shock. Okay, you will be in shock, but you'll have answers to some of the questions, because the thing is, if you go in there without having thought of it for 1 second, whatever decision you make, well, when it comes to, what do you want to do with your animal, it's irreversible. So please don't be, I mean, thank gosh that I made the right decision, but you know what? I could have easily made the wrong one, and I would have had to live with that. The one thing I will say you absolutely have to do is find out from your vet what their payment policy is. Are you expected to pay before? Are you expected to pay before you leave? What if you're not in any condition? Will they call you to remind you? Because I had this happen once to me, and I don't want it to happen to you. They didn't say anything about paying before. I obviously was not in a position to pay after. I was in such a state. This was with another cat. And I forgot. I don't know that I forgot about it, but I guess I assumed that I could just pay when I picked him up. And it turns out you couldn't. But I didn't know that until 2 weeks had passed, and I'm thinking, why didn't I get a call back? And I found out that he had been in a freezer in the vet's office for 2 weeks, waiting for me to call them to pay. Naturally, I went ballistic on them, and they'll never forget me screaming at them and the owner of the vet's practice, because so don't let this happen to you. Find out if they call and remind you, because this was horrific, an absolutely horrific situation you don't want to be in. So anyway, I'm not going to harp on this anymore. Just please give these issues some thought so you have an idea of what's going to happen and what you want. It'll give you a chance to focus on what's really important in that moment. And it'll help you make the right decisions that you will be happy with. Anyway, I have a lot more videos to post, lots of topics that we want to talk about. So keep an eye out for them, and spend time with your pups, and take lots of pictures and videos, and make sure you're in them. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you soon.